Okay, so you need to be like blank to learn every concept in Python, because it is something different from other programming languages. Okay, so with these points, I would like to start with operators, and then we'll go and talk about flow controls. Okay, what do you think operator means in any programming language? What do you think operator means in any programming language? Yeah, you're giving example, but my question was like, what do you think about operator? Okay, Vamshi thinks they are symbols. Fine. To perform operation. Very good. Okay. Yeah, it used to perform operation on data. Very good. Performs operation, helps in arithmetic. Anjali, thank you. Used for manipulation and all, for comparison and some operate on some logic and all, we require operator. Very good. Let's go and talk about the definition of an operator. Yeah, perform some operation in on operands. Very perfect, Nitin. Okay, so let's go and talk about operators here. And meantime, I would like to tell, like, please make your videos off. Okay, because sometimes it distracts. So make sure everyone's video is off. Okay, so let me go here and talk about operators here now. Okay. Okay. So let's see what is mean by operators in any programming language. What is the definition of an operator? So basically, the definition of an operator says that, okay, the definition says that an operator or Python operator, whatever you call for, an operator, an operator is a symbol, as all of you say. Operator is a symbol, okay, that performs, that performs, okay, that performs. Let me hide this screen a little bit. 1 minute, guys. Okay, so let me put it somewhere. Okay, so I was talking like an operator is a symbol that performs operation, that performs operation on one or more operands. Okay, this is my definition. Okay, as you all said, it's perfectly fine. We can go with any definition, actually all are correct, but I just put into some form. Like an operator is a symbol in any programming language that performs operation on one or more operands. Do you agree with my definition? It makes same sense, as you all say. You will all definitely say me that we all say the same thing. That's true. Okay, that's true. So Nitesh says yes. Okay, so perfectly fine. So an operator is a symbol that performs an operation on one or more operand. So what is mean by operand here? What is mean by operand here? What is mean by operand? Okay, can be variable. Very good, Aditi. Or it can be some value or data items. Very perfect, Vamshi. So it can be a data item. It can be a value and all. One or more operand means we all know that operator can be performed on one operand, two operand, or multiple operand. It can be anything, right? We have unary operators, we have binary operators, and we have ternary operators. We all know that there are three different categories of operators. We'll talk about it. But let us see that what are the different operators available in Python actually. So in Python, there are operators available. Let us talk about one by one. Let us talk about one by one now. The first operator I would like to start discussing is call it as arithmetic operator. Let's call it as arithmetic operator. Okay, arithmetic operators. So let's talk about what is arithmetic operators. So actually you have some 7 to 8 different operators available in Python. We'll talk one by one. Instead of introducing right now all the operators, let us talk one by one so that you get clarity and you'll start understanding like how Python deals with operators and all. So, you know the arithmetic operators from your school days. You did a lot of drill on arithmetic operators. Let us try to understand how Python gives support for your arithmetic operators. So basically, These operators are the symbols, guys. They are already available and they understood by your operating system or your what I mean to say your CPU so that it can perform operation on that particular based on that operator. Very good, Nitesh. We have different arithmetic operators available to perform arithmetic addition, to perform arithmetic multiplication, subtraction, division, and all. So let us talk about like how many different arithmetic operators are available. Okay, let us talk about what are the different arithmetic operators are available. Okay, so for our sake, what I will do is I will classify this into two types. I'll classify this into two types. Okay, I'll talk about the general arithmetic operators. You already know from regular programming languages, and Python gives support for some new operators has been added as an arithmetic operator. So let us see what are the general operators and what are the new operators added in Python. As we all familiar with some of the basic arithmetic operators like arithmetic addition, we know arithmetic subtraction, we know arithmetic multiplication, and we know arithmetic division. These are the four basic arithmetic operators we do have in Python, and followed by obviously modulus operator as well, right? I hope everybody here is familiar with modulus operator as well. So we have these five arithmetic operators which are very basic or general. I can call them as basic operators. So I can say that basic arithmetic operators and some new arithmetic operators got added in Python. So let us talk about what new operators has been added in a moment. But let me talk about what are these basic operators actually in Python. So we all know that plus represents as arithmetic addition, minus represents as arithmetic subtraction. This is arithmetic multiplication, arithmetic division, and arithmetic modulus division. So these are the names given to it. Okay, if you want, if you wish me to write it down, I will write it down. So this stands for arithmetic addition. This stands for arithmetic addition. Okay, then next one is called arithmetic subtraction. Arithmetic subtraction. This one is called as arithmetic multiplication, and the one is called it as arithmetic division. Arithmetic division, and finally we have this called modulus division. So arithmetic modulus division. Arithmetic modulus division. Okay, so these are the five basic arithmetic operators we have: arithmetic addition, arithmetic subtraction, arithmetic multiplication, arithmetic division, and arithmetic modulus division. First of all, let us talk about how they work actually. Okay, let us talk about how they work when we combine with our expression or with different operands, how exactly they work actually. Okay, so these are the basic or common arithmetic operators available, and these are the new or special operators available. Okay, so an arithmetic operator actually performs operation between an integer and in basically, let me tell you. No problem, Shikawat. We just started discussing about arithmetic operator. Okay, luckily we haven't discussed anything new, but now we're going to discuss something new now. Okay, so I hope you will follow up. Fine. So any problem, let me know. So I will help you out. I'll give a quick glance for that. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so you will definitely follow. Okay, so let's get back and talk about how they work actually. So basically, all these operators except one or two operators I'll talk about. Basically, they work in three different modes. Basically, they work in three different modes actually. So if you talk about, there are three different modes these arithmetic operators generally work with. What are their modes actually? The modes are okay. Let me just use different colors here. The modes are, the first one is called as okay integer mode. The first one is called it as integer mode. What is mean by integer mode? Integer mode says that if the first operand is integer type, if the first operand is integer type, and then you have any operator like plus, minus, or subtract, multiply, and all, and then you have second operand is also of integer type, then the result will always be an integer. Then the result will always be an integer. Like if first operand is of integer type and an operator, and followed by another operand of type integer, then the result will always be an integer. So this is generally called it as an integer mode. because based on the operand value, the operation will be performed. Because obviously, addition for integers will be different, and addition for real data will be different, because the way computer system understands the integer and the way computer system understands your decimal values or floating point value will be very different, and even their perform calculations will be very much different. So based on that only they will give you the result. Let me prove this. Let me prove this now. So if I take my Python interpreter, if I take my Python interpreter now, and if I ask the same question to my Python interpreter, please tell me what is this 2 plus 3? What is 2 plus 3? What answer you will be expecting now? What answer you will be expecting now? 5. Very good. So is the first operand is integer? Is the first operand is integer? Yes. The second operand is also integer? Yes. So obviously the result will be integer. The result will be integer. It will not be floating point value. It will not be floating point value. If I store the result and check what is the type, obviously it will tell me that I belongs to an integer type, because what we get it here is an integer value. Same with subtraction. If I do this, still it will get me an integer value. So let me just put it now. So I'll just press enter, and you can see here I'll print C and type of C. I'll print C and the type of C. It will tell you I still belongs to integer type. I'm getting an answer as -1, and I still belongs to integer type now. So I have given the first operand as integer, second operand as integer. I stored the result in C. I printed C and the type of C. Okay, so C value got printed as -1 and type of C got printed as an integer type. So that way it proves that what we got as an integer value. Similarly, if I multiply them, if I multiply 2 into 3, then I'll get some result which is 6. And if I again print C value and type of C, it will print me the result, and it will still tell me that I belongs to integer type. So whether you perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, whatever you perform, if the first operand is integer and second operand is also integer, then the result will be integer. Okay, and I also proved you by printing the type of the variable where you stored the result. Okay, type of the value where you stored the result. Okay. Yes, we'll talk about division operators as well, Rajshekhar. But let me make it the other thing as well. Then we'll talk about the division operator. The other modes we have is called it as real mode. The other mode we have here is called real mode. Real mode says that if the first value is real, the second value is also real. The first value is real and the second operand is also real, then the result will be real value. The result will be real value now. So this is result actually. So I'll write RES. So the first one is real or floating point value, or in short, I'll make it F. You're getting confused with R. So I'll say first value is floating point value, then operator, then you have another floating point value, then the result will be floating point value. Then the result will be floating point value. In all these cases, if the first value, if I take C is equal to, if I take C is equal to 2.0 plus 3.0, what you will be expecting now? I say 2.0 plus 3.0. So obviously 2.0 make it as a real value, and 3.0 is also a real value, and obviously the C value will be, oh, by mistake we removed it. So 2.0 plus 3.0 will give you, and will let us print C and type of C. It will tell you C is 5.0 and the result will be of float type. So that way, if the first operand is real and the second operand is also real, means floating point value, then the result will be floating point value, and the type what you get is also a floating point type. What you get is a floating point type. Same with subtraction, multiplication, and division as well. We'll talk about division. We will introduce division in a moment, because that's the hot topic for today actually, because addition, subtraction, and multiplication is very easy to understand. And you all know that. Basically, let us stick to this three first, then we will talk about this division operator, because it's one of the very important interview topic, and very important aptitude kind of questions you may get from division operator. And we have a couple of exercises today to deal on division operator actually. So I want everyone to have a clear understanding of division operator today. Okay, so but first let us try to understand this. integer mode, real mode, and finally you have something called mixed mode. Something called mixed mode. Mixed mode says that if the first one is integer, then the second one is float. If the first one is integer, second one is float, what do you think the result will be? If the first operand is of type integer, and then second operand is of type float, Ubul thinks the result will be floating point value. Very good. The result will be floating point value because here the automatic type conversion will happen. The integer will automatically convert it to float and then it will be added to the floating point value. That Python will take care, you don't have to worry, but the result will be in float. The result will be in float and vice versa. The first value can be floating point and the second value can be in integer, then even for that result will be floating point only. So these are the three different modes you have: integer mode, real mode, and mixed mode. Is that clear for everyone? Okay. Vamshi says yes. Yeah, Ubul, okay. Udit, Nitin, Satyam. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, good to see you, Roshan. Snehal says yes. Raman, thank you. Aditi. Okay, so perfect. So till now, we all understood like what is integer mode, real mode, and mixed mode. Okay, so let us go back to our screen and let's talk about further about these three things now. So let me get started with again. So I'll go with Python ideally again. I'll try to understand all these again. So let us introduce a division operator as well now. Let us introduce division operator as well. So we already seen that. Let me show you first with mixed one. If I say 2 plus 3.0, 2 plus 3.0, and let me store it in some variable called C. Obviously, if you print C and type of C, it will tell you that C will be 5.0 and type of C will be in float. The type of C will be in float. So any one of them is integer, so it will automatically convert it to float. Then the addition happens between float and float, and then result will be float, and then it's printing 5.0, and the type is also pre-printed as float now. We didn't declare any data type, so this data type has been decided at runtime. We all know about it. And we also know about the memory management and all, so let's not worry right now. Let us concentrate on operators today. Okay, so this is operator. So if you understood these three things, as you have already confirmed me that you have understood the three modes actually, integer mode, real mode, and mixed mode, let me put you a question here now. What do you think if I say C is equal to 5 divided by 2? What do you think if I say C is equal to 5 divided by 2? I'll press enter. I'll try to print that C and type of C. Tell me what will be the output now. Okay, Vamshi thinks it will be 2. Aditi thinks it's 2. Satyam thinks it's 2.5. Aditi thinks it's 2.0. Okay, Nitin also thinks 2.5. 2, 2.5, 2, 2.5. I'm getting a different answer. So let me get back and show you the screen again. You'll find some solution. So can I get final confirmation with everyone? By looking at the screen, the different modes I made you understand that integer mode, float, real mode, and the mixed mode. Integer mode means if the first operand is integer and the second operand is integer, then the result will be integer. Yeah, both the operands are integer, so result is integer. Very good. Okay, yeah, very good. So we are in integer mode now. Perfect, right? So it's perfectly an integer mode. When I print this, it will give me an integer value. Agree everyone? Yeah, according to integer mode, the answer is integer. We are getting also Ubud. Okay, understood everyone now? Why the answer is not 2.0 or 2.5? Why the answer is not 2.0 and 2.5? Because both are integer now. If you make any one of them as float, if you make any one of them as float, then only you will get the correct result. You know what is an answer now? This is mixed mode, right? Either it can be mixed mode or real mode. Very good. Now the answer will be 2.5. Very good, Vamshi. The answer will be 2.5 and the type will be float now because it is in mixed mode now. That's why this knowledge makes sense. That's why whatever I explained you, this knowledge makes sense. Yes, Satyam, let me conclude that, but that's true. That's true. We'll talk about it. I will talk about it. So that's why I opened 2.7 here now. Let me conclude that. No problem. We'll talk. We'll talk. Okay. Now you all understood? You all understood about the division operator? Okay, perfect. So we have learned the division operator. So let it be whatever the knowledge you have. Based on that knowledge, let us try to understand the first interview question, which is very common, and I hope everybody knows about it. But let me discuss about it. So the first thing I would like to talk about here, the first thing I would like to talk about here is difference. Okay, between difference between the division operator and modulus division operator. The difference between division operator and modulus division operator. But how can a programming language shows a wrong result? Where it's showing wrong result? Okay, very good. But let me check with Abhishek as well. Like, let me justify his question. Yeah, in case of integer mode, okay, fine. Okay, I would like to answer your question, Abhishek. Uh, I got somehow like what you want to ask, but let us discuss about it. Okay, let's conclude that later. But whatever you have understood, that's enough for me to solve my problem. Okay, to solve my given problem, it's we need that knowledge, and then we will conclude few things about it. That's why I told you we're going to spend a lot of time on these division operators, exactly, mostly. Okay, there are a lot of interview questions on division operator, so that's why believing that there is no doubt in addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Is the three things clear for everyone? Addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Yeah, thank you, Nitesh, for confirming. Thank you, Ubul. Thank you, Abhishek. So let's get and talk about this division operator. Okay, so first thing I would like to talk about the difference between division operator and modulus division. The division operator and modulus division. We all know that division operator generally gives you a quotient value, and this modulus division will generally give you a remainder value. So division operator will generally give you a quotient value. Okay, I'll write in short quotient value, and modulus operator will give you a remainder value. Will always give you a remainder value. Very perfect, Vishwajit. Now, if I take an example now, if I ask you 5 divided by 2, if I ask you 5 divided by 2, so we know that 2 into 2 will give you 4 and the remainder will be 1. Remainder will be 1. That's why when I ask the question, tell me 5 divided by 2, we got the result as 2, as you seen already, we got the result as 2. When I ask them 5 modulus division by 2, we will get the value as 1, because modulus division will give you the remainder value, and your division operator will give you the quotient value. Understood, everyone? The division operator, there's a basic difference between division operator and modulus division. And in a lot of mathematical problem, we use these operators a lot. We use these operators a lot. In many logics, these division operators will help you. Mostly this modulus division as well as this division, because sometimes I need to get the quotient and most of the time I need to get the remainder to check whether the number is even or odd, whether it is prime or not. Okay, the factors, lot of things we check in the logical mathematical logic, where we always need to check the remainder or we need to get the quotient. So that's why this division operator and modulus division operator plays a very crucial role in lot of logical concept, logical programming. So having a detailed knowledge on division operator and modulus division operator is very useful. Okay, very useful. So with this, shall we go for our first exercise? Okay, thank you, Narendra. Yeah, perfect. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, try to solve this exercise, then we will solve it here. Okay, I'll show you what can be the required input and what should be the output of our program. Let me show you now. Okay, based on operator, division operator, let's have a question now. So the question is, it's asking you to write a Python program to convert a given number of days to a measure of time given in years, weeks, and remaining days. Okay, he's asking to write a Python program to convert given number, whatever the user enters the number, you have to convert in the measure of time given in year, weeks, and remaining days. For example, if you enter 375, we know that if you ignore the leap year, we know that in 375 we have 1 year, okay, 1 year, and remaining 15 days are remaining. In 15 days, we will get 1 week and remaining 3 days. Remaining 3 days now, right? It's not 15 days, sorry, 10 days are remaining. 375. So we know that in a year, 365 days are there. If it ignore leap year, then we get 1 year and 10 will be remaining. Sorry. Then in 10, we'll get 1 week, which is 7 days makes a week. And then obviously 3 remaining days you have to print it. So can you solve this problem using our arithmetic operators? And expected result should be like this. Expected result should be, you will be entering the number of days. Can you tell me, guys, in 1000, how many years we have, how many weeks we will get, and how many remaining days we will get? Somebody, please tell me the result. If we enter the input as 1000, in 1000 days, I would like to know how many years I have, how many weeks I have, how many remaining days I have. That's what, Shikawat. I'm explaining the question again. Shikawat, you will enter the number of days, Shikawat. Okay, like you enter 375. Tell me in 375 days how many years will come? 2 years? No, you're answering for this one, Ubul. Okay, okay. So I'm asking for Shikawat actually. In 375, how many years will come? Or in a year, how many days you will get, Shikawat? In a year, how many days you will get? 365. Very good. So 365 days means 1 year. Okay, 1 year. And how many, if we input as 375, then what are the remaining? What are the remaining value? What is the remaining value? Okay, 10. Very good. Okay, 10 days. Now you got a 10 days. In a 10 days, how many weeks can come? In 10 days, how many weeks can come? 1 week, because 7 days makes 1 week. And what are the remaining days you will get? 3. So that's what the output is. It contains 1 year, 1 week, and 3 remaining days. I hope you got it now, Shikawat. That should be your output. If you enter 375, it should tell you in 375 there is 1 year, 1 week, and 3 remaining days. Okay. So tell me now, for 1000, how many years, how many weeks, and how many remaining days? If you can answer it correctly, it means you, because I told you about the proverb, if you understand the question, it means you have already solved the 70-80% of the problem. You just need to implement them. Very good. So 2 years and 34 weeks, yeah, something like that. That's true, Satyam. But let us see if anybody can get the exact answer. Anybody can get the exact answer. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Vishwajit. 365 has 1 year and 7 days has 1 week. Perfectly. Okay. So based on that, we are making it actually. 2 years, 38 weeks, and 57 days. Okay. Yeah, that's true. 375 have 1 year, 1 week, and 3 remaining days. Thank you, Vishwajit, for helping friends. So, okay, I'll break the silence. It has 2 years, 38 weeks, okay, 38 weeks, and 4 days actually. Okay, it has 2 years, 38 weeks, and 4 days. How? I'll show you with 375. You'll automatically get with the other one. I'll show you how to solve this problem. Then I'll leave it to you so that you can solve the problem. Then I'll show you the solve problem. Now, basically, I was talking about your days, right? Yeah, perfect. So now I was talking about like 375 days. So if you take that example as 375 days, let us try to solve it. Now if I take this as 375 days, we all know that in 375, what I will do is I will divide with 365 actually. I'll divide with 365. And if I divide with 365, I'll get the result as 1. 365 into 1 gives you 365, right? 365 into 1 will give you 365. And when we subtract, we'll get the 10 now. What is this one? What is this one? Year. Very good. This is 1. How can we get this one actually? How can we get this one? How can we get this one? Very good. We can use division operator because we already know the division operator returns you the quotient. The division operator returns you the quotient. So I can use division operator. Now I got 10. How to get this 10? How to get this 10? Modulus operator. Very good. Okay, we use this modulus operator. Now, is it my final answer? Is it my final answer? I divided by using a division operator. I can get year. So we have concluded here we have to use division operator. Here we have to use modulus division operator. Fine. But we still did not got the complete result. We got the year no doubt, but still we have not got the week and remaining days. So what I will do is this 10 I'll further divide with 7. This 10 I'll further divide with 7. Very good. Remainder should be divided with 7 again. That's perfect, Vamshi. Okay, again the remainder we have to divide with 7. Shikawat is also correct. So 7 into 1 will give you 7 and then you get remaining 3. So now I can tell this is my week actually and this is my remaining days. Understood all? How can we solve this problem using these two division operators now? Using a division operator and modulus division operator, we can solve this particular problem. I hope now it's clear for everyone. Will you implement them? Will you implement this problem? Okay, fine. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Let's see who will implement and you'll get the same result. I should get the same result as I'm showing in sample input output. You should ask user to enter the number of days. Now you're very familiar with the input function and in which form you have to convert and everything. And you also familiar with print function, you know, many ways of printing. So based on the output I have shown you, select the best print statement. Okay, select the best print statement. Did anyone got it? Did anyone got this problem? Okay, very good, Ubul. So you're getting the same result, Ubul? Exactly same result? Perfect. Okay, perfect. So Anjali also done. Very good. Okay, Nitesh also completed. Yeah, so very good. So all of you can able to get this in on time, right? So Aditi is done, Kiran is done, SK is done. Okay, perfect. So as I can see, most of you have done and you're getting the same result. Yeah, very good. So Saif, everybody has done with that. Uh, okay. We'll not be expecting the output here, but anyhow, as you have sent us, Kudal, you can send me privately. We can check for it, but perfectly fine. As you're doing, let me try to explain that. No problem. No problem. Okay. Let's because we want all the people to think because it's a part of the training that we should think and we should do it. So either you can send me the privately the code, or if you say it done, okay. Anyhow, I'm going to show you. But always welcome. You can share your code privately so that I can just look at the code and other people will keep trying. Because you know the basic thing about the programming is if we look the program, because I'm totally against of getting the code from internet. Okay, getting the code from internet on all, because somehow you will get some question problem in internet, some okay, even if we change it we can get some similar problem and all, but it loses the confidence. Okay, we can never become a programmer if we look at the program and try to implement. No problem, SK. If you have done a notebook, that's perfectly fine for me. Okay, my thing is implementation. With getting the same result or not, okay, that is all secondary because I'm going to execute it here. But the time what you have spent is very, very important to get what we want to achieve actually. No problem. Before I go for this problem, actually, before I go for this problem, I would like to talk about something else as well. I would like to talk about something else as well. Like already I talked about difference between division operator and modulus division. Let me make it little clarity about it. Let me make it little clarity about it. Because without this, you cannot solve the problem. Without this, you cannot solve the problem. Let me show you the problem here now. Let me solve that problem. Let me solve that problem and then we will discuss that problem actually. What is wrong with that problem? Now you know that if I just go to Python here, okay, Python ideally. Thank you, Shikawa, for confirming that you got the answer. And I'm expecting all of you got the same result as I have shown you. If you enter the number of days, it should be printing 1000 days as 2 years, 38 weeks, and 4 days. 1000 have 2 years, 38 weeks, and 4 days. That's perfect. Okay, perfect. So Ubud has sent his code and looking perfect. So let me talk about it first of all. So let me solve this problem here now. Let me try to solve this problem. For example, if you input, like suppose if I have given 375, if I have given 375 here now, and as 375, I wanted to get the year now. What can be the formula to get the year? What can be the formula to get the year? Okay. Satyam also shared the code privately. Yeah, n divided by 365. N divided by 365. What result you will be expecting? What result you will be expecting now? 1. Okay, Vamshi thinks 1. Satyam, everybody thinks the result will be 1. 375 divided by 365. Okay, but actually guys, the result will not be 1. The result is not 1. The result will be something like, if I print year now, the result will be something like 1.02739726027 something something. So we got this as a floating point value. Okay, yeah. So that's what I wanted to make it clear. Okay, definitely. I shown you that in 2.7 when we talk about the modes, okay, theoretically, I shown you that with 2.7. That's true. Now I'm working on 3.7 because actually we have to work on 3.7. But why it's so different? So one thing are very clear: the division operator in Python 2 and division operator in Python 3 is different. Do you agree? Do you agree? That's what our next topic actually. The next topic is Python 2 division operator, Python 2 division operator, and Python 3 division operator. Python 3 division operator. So what we have learned in Python 2 division operator is Python 2 division operator and Python 3 division operator. Okay, this is another interview question. The first basic interview question we have learned the difference between division and modulus division. So we learned that division gives you quotient and modulus gives you remainder. But this answer will also get changed now after learning this Python 2 and Python 3 operator actually. So let me talk about what is Python 2 division operator and what is Python 3 division operator. We all know that if I ask this 5 by 2 in Python 2, what answer you will be expecting? What answer you will be expecting now? 2. We already seen that. It gives you 2 as an answer. When I ask him, okay, tell me what is 5 divided by 2, it will tell you 2 will be the answer. Perfect. Okay, when I ask him 5.0 divided by 2.0, then the result will be 2.5. Very good. The result will be 2.5. When I ask them 5.0 divided by 2, the result will again be 2.5. And when I ask him 5 divided by 2.0, the result will again be 2.5. Is that clear with Python 2 division operator now? That Python 2 division operator, if both are integer, gives you integer. If both are float or one of them are float and all, will give you the floating point value. Floating point value. This knowledge is required. This knowledge is required. That's why we discuss, because this knowledge, whatever you have learned, it is same with C, C++, and Java as well. Okay, this is same with C++ and C++, Java, and other programming languages as well. They exactly behave the same way. Okay, so if you're still going to work with C, C++, and Java, then this knowledge will definitely need it. So that's why I discussed that what was there in Python 2. So that's why there will be little problem. But what Python 3 says that, Python 3 says that even if you ask me what is 5 by 2, I will not give you 2, I will give you 2.5. I'll give you 2.5. So if you remember, I told you that all the operators works in 3 different modes except one, and that one is division operator actually. That one is division operator does not work in the mode actually. Even though the values are integer, it will give you floating point value. No doubt I have shown you this result before, that was in Python 2.7. Okay, and Ubul and other have already pointed out that I have working with Python 2.7. As you can see here, I have been asked in Python 2.7. When I asked 5 by 2, I got the answer as to an integer type. That was in Python 2. But if I ask the same question in Python 3, if I ask the same question in Python 3, please tell me what is C and the type of C. It tells you that I belongs to floating point value and my result is 2.5, not only 2. So it tells you that I got 2.5 and the result will be float. That result will be float now. So the division operator in Python 2 and the division operator in Python 3 is different. The division operator in Python 2 and division operator in Python 3 is different. So it gives you integer value, but it gives you the exact value. That's true, Nitesh. It gives you the exact value. Even 5.0 divided by 2.0 will give you 2.5, and 5.0 divided by 2.0 or 2 will also give you 2.5, and 5 divided by 2.0 will also give you 2.5. Okay, will also give you 2.5. Why there is a change, guys? Why Python developer has thought that this should be changed? Whatever you, that's what I told you. Things are different from Python 2 to Python 3. Okay, so that's why it's very important, because both are backward forward incompatible. Things are not same. So sometimes it is very important to know the differences. Sometimes it is very important to know the differences. So in C, which Python version followed? Either two. No, C does not relate with Python Ubul. C is different programming language, but I told you they follow this approach. C, C++, Java follow this approach as you learn in Python too. But we are not going to use at least in Python because we are now learning Python 3. So obviously we will not use them. So this makes sense to you. This is important. My question is to everyone, why there is a change? Why it is changed like this? Why the change? Why Python has decided that I will not give result as 2, I'll give the result as 2.5. Anybody? Okay, to make it more realistic. Okay, and Kudal also thinks to get the exact output. Okay, okay, to remove typecasting and all, because division most of the time results in float. Okay, we need result as exact as possible. Inaccurate answer with 2.7. I hope the same question from Abhishek as well, right? SRK Abhishek. Right, that's what your question actually. So that why actually we are getting 2, not 2.5. Yes. Okay. So why is the difference? Let me talk about it. Let me talk about it because this is a problem what C, C++, Java, and all faces this problem. For example, I write this formula. I write this formula. Suppose I'm calculating the percentage. The percentage what we get is total marks, whatever you got, divided by 600 into 100. Suppose this is my formula for calculating the total marks now. For calculating the total marks. Tell me what will be the result in C, C++, Java and Python 2? What will be the result in C, C++, Java and Python 2? If you write a formula for calculating the percentage, depends on total. Like suppose I have given some total, let's say 300. I've given the total value as 300 now. There are 6 subjects. He got 300 as in total. So what will be the output of this program? Okay, why you think 0, Shikawat? Okay, 300, 600 into 100 or 300 divided by 600 will get you, okay? Okay, perfectly. We get 50%, right? We get 50%. So 100 divided by 50 and we'll get 50% now. So this is 50%. Okay, suppose I got some total and is actually getting 99.9%. 99.9%. Do you agree that still I will get 99 as a result? Suppose he got something like marks as 599 or something, 598 or 599. He's supposed to get 99.9%, but it will show you that result is still 99. The point value will be gone because it will be in integer mode. It will be in integer mode. As everybody said that division should get the exact result. That's true. But Python 2, C, C++, Java still is not giving you, it will not round Santosh, it will truncate the point value actually. It will remove the point value and will only give you that 99. It will remove that point value and it will only give you that 99 now. Getting my point? Okay, so that way, okay, they face this problem. Here it is mandatory that, either you should make any one of them to be in float. That's very good with it. Or you typecast them to float so that the result will be converted to float now. That is user responsibility. Following everyone? And correctly pointed that most of the time we use this division operator to get the final result. To get the final result. To get the final result. Understood all? But C, C++, Java did not try to change this operator because for our problem, as you have seen, that here in this problem, I don't want floating point value. I want integer value. Then what to do? I don't want floating point value now. I want an integer value. So as Python 3 giving me floating point answer, so I'm getting the floating point result now. Okay, so very good. Ubul thinks that we have to typecast. Okay, Shikawat, everybody thinks that we need to typecast. Do you all agree? All understood the difference between Python 2 and Python 3? And did you all understood why there is a change? Please confirm so that I can go for the next thing to discuss. Okay, thank you, Nitesh. Okay, I'll wait for a minute and see anybody having any question regarding this. So I would like to conclude about Python 2 division operator and Python 3 division operator. So what is the problem with Python 2, C, C++, Java division operator? That they will give you integer value, so you need to be careful while getting the correct result. You will never get the correct result because it will always give you integer value. If you want floating point value, you have to make both of them to be float or either of them to be float or typecast to be float. That is user responsibility to take care of it. Otherwise, division operator will always give you the quotient value by truncating the remainder part. The point value it will truncate and give you the remain quotient value always. But as you all said that division operator generally used to get the correct result. So that's why Python 3 people has decided, no, we will not do that. We'll give the division operator as a correct result. Okay, so but by Python 3, the problem has been solved. Very good, Narendra. That's why this division operator in Python 3 is very much different from C, C++, and Java, even in Python 2. That's why this knowledge is important. Because when you write the same program in C, C++, and Java, the result will be something different. And when you write the same program in Python 3, the result will be different. Obviously, when you run in Python 2, also result will be different because they both are backward and forward incompatible. Got my point? So everybody said that the way we need to solve this problem is if I wanted to get this year value is 1, we have to typecast it. We have to typecast it. But that is not the, you maybe the, okay, that I can consider your suggestion, but I would like to add something new here now. The new is for such kind of problem, Python has given you a special operator that is called floor division. They have something called floor division. Okay, I told you Python has added few new operators. Python has added few new operators. What are that few new operators in Python? The first operator we have something called floor division. It's called arithmetic floor division. What is this floor division will do? Flooring means actually if you get 3.9, it will floor it to 3. Okay, it will round off actually to the nearest value. It will round off to the nearest value. That's what it's called flooring. So this is called floor division. This is called floor division. And Python 3 floor division, Python 3 floor division. Let me talk about Python 3 floor division now. So Python 3, okay, has one more division operator called as floor division operator. It's called floor division operator, two symbols here now. Now if I ask you the question, what is the result of 5 floor division by 2? What is the result of 5 floor division by 2? Well, very good. So the answer will be 2 in this case. The answer will be 2 in this case. So that's why Python says that whenever you want the complete result, you go with division. And whenever you want the quotient value, go with floor division. Don't round off. Okay, it will be time consuming. So to round out the value first to calculate and round the value. So it takes time, right? So if you're doing 1 or 2 times, it's okay. In a program, if you're writing for 10, 15 times, then obviously the performance of the program will go down. So that's why better, instead of converting, you better use this floor division. You better use this floor division. It will return you the quotient value. Now you think that Python 3 floor division and Python 2 division operator is same? Python 2 division operator and Python 3 floor division. Do you think both are same? Okay. So what will be the result now? 5.0 floor division by 2.0. 5.0 floor division by 2.0. Okay, Obul thinks it's 2. Vamshi also thinks it's 2. Udit thinks it's 2. Okay. No, the answer is not 2. The answer will be in float, guys, because it's real mode. It's real mode. Real mode. Okay, so answer will not be 2. Yeah, it's a real mode. So what do you think the answer will be now? Would you like to correct yourself, guys? Okay, Vamshi wanted to correct. It will be 2.5. Okay, I think people have executed and now we are getting correct result. Okay, so actually the answer is 2.0, not 2.5. Still, it will not get you the correct result because I told you it will floor the value. Floor means it will bring it to 0. The point value will bring it to 0, guys. So they are not same. Understood everyone what is meant by flooring? That's what I told you. When I say 3.5, it will make it to 3.0. Okay, that's what it's called flooring. So that's why the floor division and the division operator is not same. The division operator is not same. So 5.0, 5 divided by 2.0 will also get you 2.0. So this is about floor division. Okay. Now in our problem, which operator you will use now? Floor division or division operator? The problem given, what you will use now? Floor division or division operator? No, we don't have steel division with it. We don't have steel division. We'll use floor division. Perfect. Now let me show you what we get from floor division. Now I'll use year, but this time I will say n floor division by 365. Okay, floor division by 365, and you can see here when I print year and type of year, you can see here that it's printing me the result as an integer. The result as an integer. So whenever you want a quotient value to be expected, you can use floor division. You can use floor division. I hope this makes sense now. The difference between Python 2 division operator, Python 3 division operator, and Python 3 has one more division operator called floor division. So how many division operators are there in Python? How many division operators are there in Python? 3 division operator. Very good. 3, 1, Satyam. 3 division operator. Division operator, floor division operator, and modulus division operator. Division operator, floor division operator, and modulus division operator. So that's why this exercise is all about, to make you understand the use of floor division actually. This exercise has been meant to show you the use of floor division actually. Because if I try to solve with normal division, as some of you have mentioned, you are getting the result in points. This is what the result you will get actually. You need to convert into typecast. That's what I hope you noticed, that you are getting the answer in points, so you have typecasted to integer. You got the same result. That's a good trick, but better is to use the floor division, because that time we never know that Python has a floor division. Now we know that Python has a floor division, which gives me the result as an integer if both of them has a result. So what do you mean by typecast? Typecast means actually converting from float to integer with it. Like what some of you have done is, as we all know that this is giving me a floating point value, right? This is giving me floating point value. When I write this formula and typecast into integer, so the floating point value will be converted to integer. This is called typecasting actually. Now when I print here, it will get me 1. Conversion. Yes, type conversion or typecasting. Casting means converting from the one type to the compatible type actually. Like I can convert from integer to float, or float to integer and all. I can convert them. So this is called type conversion actually, or typecasting. Okay, so I hope this is what you were doing. Is for not truncating actually, it's flooring off. Flooring is different and truncating is different, SK. Truncating is completely removing that value and giving only integer part, that is called truncating. And flooring means it gets you the value but make it to the lowest one. Even if it is 2.9, okay, it will give you to 0, 2.0. That's called flooring actually. So see, math has a floor function as well. If you say import math, when I ask them, okay, math dot floor, this is a floor function. If I ask them, okay, please give me the floor value of 2.9, it will say you it is 2. Okay, it's 2 because it's returning me an integer actually. Its floor function is returning me an integer actually. But if I store it and print it, you will obviously get 2.0. So nearest value on the left will be given us. That's what the difference between flooring and truncating actually. Yes. Okay, that's what will be same as floor function. That's what I told you. This is called floor division actually. Floor division and division in Python 3, they are different. And we also have modulus division, which gives the remainder value. So we learn about division in detail today. But let me solve this problem before I leave. So let me solve this problem now. Okay, I'll open my script, which is demo. So there's some program written, so I will remove this program. So first thing, I will ask number of days from user. So I will say n is equal to, this time I will convert into integer because you will be getting into string. So this is actually converting from string to integer, but doesn't call it as typecasting. Typecasting means should be compatible, like integer, float, kind of thing. Okay, that's called typecasting actually. This is converting from one type to another type. Okay, so this is different. So I can say enter the days. I can say enter the days, whatever may be the sentence. I just wanted to ask user to enter the days now. Now I will calculate the year. First, I will calculate the year. We know that to calculate the year, I will use this n value. I will use floor division and I will divide with 365. We will get the quotient value. We'll get the quotient value as we have seen in our example. As we have seen in our example, that if I divide that 375, if I divide the 375 as I have did here, let me write it down again. If I divide this 375, I think I'll use the same color. Okay, I divide this 375 with 365 now. We'll get 1 and we get 365 and we get this one will be stored in the remainder now. This one will store in the remainder. Now we need to get this remainder. To this remainder, I need to divide with 7. Very good, Aditi. Now what we'll do now to get the week, this is years actually. Okay, it can be one or more years. I'll say weeks is equal to, I'll first get the remainder. We know to get the remainder, I will use modulus division 365. And to that I perform floor division with 7 to get the quotient. In one line I can write it, guys, instead of writing in multiple lines. This will get you 10. This will get you 10, right? N modulus division by 365 will get you 10. So once you get 10, you use floor division with 7, you'll get the quotient value, which is nothing but weeks. And then I'll go here and say R days, remaining days, R days for remaining days. And here I will say, I need to get the remainder, so I'll use modulus division with 365. Modulus division with 365. Again, I need a remainder, so I will use remainder now. So this will get me year, weeks, and remaining days. Understood this formulas, guys? How to get the year, how to get the week, and how to get the year. So I solved my problem using this two division operator. So here I'm getting the year, here I'm getting the week, remainder, which is 10. To 10 I'm further dividing it actually. You can store the 10 and divide again. So unnecessary, why to write different, why to take more variables? Try to avoid variables, because that's what we learn about memory management, right? We learn in memory management that we need to reduce the variable as much as possible. So that's the memory management actually. You have to save the memory, that comes under space complexity. So your program space complexity should be less as possible. Okay, so that's why we will be not taking more variables. Okay, so I can also write this formula directly in my print statement, but again, this becomes like not good. So that's why I'm storing at least year, week, and remaining days in variables. You can take any variables actually. I'm storing it. Now let me print it out. Final thing. Let me print it out. How I want an output, let me copy paste that. Let me copy paste here. The way I want an output is something like this. Okay, I want these days. Okay, so and so up to this one. So I'll copy this. Okay, and paste it here now. I'll use this single quotes and I'll paste everything inside the single quotes. So wherever I want to print the value, I will replace with placeholder. That will be the easiest way, right? So here also I want year value, so I'll replace with placeholder. Here I want week value, I will replace with placeholder. Here I want remaining days value, I will replace with placeholder. Perfect. So wherever I wanted to print the value from the variable, I replace with placeholder, and then I use this format. First I want to print n, okay. Then I want to print year. Then I want to print weeks. Okay. Then I want to print hour days. That's all. Okay. One more bracket to be closed for the print function. Perfectly fine. We're done with my program. Let's run the program. But before running, I would like to close the screen. So let's save the program and run the program now. I can enter any days now. I can enter any days. Okay, so now I can say 375, and you can see here 375 days has 1 year, 1 week, and 3 remaining days. Okay, I can print 3. Okay, whatever the spelling. Okay, I hope it spells correct, but it's fine. So this will print you that how many remaining days you have. Now let's run the code. This time let's give it 1000 and check that it's getting me the correct result or not. It's saying that 1000 days has 2 years, 3 weeks, and 4 remaining days. Okay, and you can give any input. It's not only 1000 or 375. You check with 365 directly, and it will say you that 365 has 1 year, 0 week, and 0 remaining days. Okay, is it not working correct? Ubul, it totally depends on the result you want. It's not like which one will be first or something. Okay, how you want the result. First you want remainder or first you want quotient. That makes you how to write the formula. So if I change this formula to first division and then modulus division, then things will go wrong because it will get you the quotient and then will get you the remainder. We don't want that way. So we already did the logic part and then we try to implement. So this exercise is to make you understand. Uh, yeah, if what if we gave that with less than 365, let's try that. Okay, let's try that. And you give 200. It says that it has 0 year, 20 weeks, and 4 remaining days. So it calculates the week and the remaining days, guys. Daljit Singh, is that clear? So you can also give the days less than 365. And it will tell you how many weeks it will get and how many remaining days you will get. Okay, so good question from Daljit. And this is how we can enter any value and it will tell you how many weeks and how many remaining days we'll have. So shall we conclude for today's session? So today's session we started discussing arithmetic operator, but we haven't concluded yet. So that's what I hope you got the point. How much you need to elaborate for a particular topic. When we started, I think generally, yeah, I will show you the blackboard, right? So that's what, guys. Like you need to have a complete knowledge on each and every concept. Then only you can call yourself as master in Python or any programming language. And that's why we all are here. Okay, so every session we'll try our best to go in detail so that nobody can make you confused from here. So that is our agenda. Okay, so let me conclude. So having anybody having any question, generally I'll expect question at the end of the session, obviously in the middle as well, end of the session or the next day morning, like next class, before we start. If you have any questions, please put us so that we can discuss about that and we'll start a new topic on either. Like if you wanted to go through once again and you want to come up with some question, always better. Okay, that I would definitely like it instead of asking at the end. But still, if also it's not good to leave the session with having a doubt in your mind. Okay, so both the things matter for me. So I need your help in that regards. So if everybody confirms no question, we will conclude now, and tomorrow we'll just give a quick review and continue with arithmetic operators. Still, I have not completed because there is one more arithmetic operator in Python which has been added. So we will discuss about it and then we'll talk little more about arithmetic operator and then we will conclude arithmetic operator. Still, I required some half an hour or 45 minutes to discuss on arithmetic operators. Yeah, we will talk about that, Ubul. Tomorrow we'll talk about that. I understood your question. Okay, what you mean actually. Tomorrow you will get the solution for that. Okay, they are generally called priority or precedence. Okay, yeah, have a nice day, Vishwajit. Believing no questions. Bye, have a nice day. Yeah, thank you, Shikawat. Yeah, thank you, Aditi. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Udit. Thank you, Satyam. Thank you, Saif. Yeah, thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Kudal. Have a good day. Thank you, Bul. Yeah, Daljit, Snehal, okay, Raman, Anjali, everyone. Okay, thank you for your response. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And before leaving,